Heyo, it's Omnidog. Thanks for tuning in to see my review of these really interesting books that I'm about to show you. It's a series. And first, we want to say Organic Price Books. That's the place to get these books. With the code Omnidog, you get $2 off or 5% off, which is a lot if you ship 3 or more books together with the code Omnidog. You ship it together. Cool. Thank you to Organic Price Books. Appreciate it. So we're going to be talking about FreakAngels, which is 6 volumes. I got it in a slipcase, and it's out of the slipcase edition is out of print now and going for ridiculous money. All these books are still in print. Organic Price Books has all these books. So don't go for the slipcase. It's just a piece of cardboard that I got 5 years ago or whenever I bought it. And I finally got around to reading it thanks to the Minister of Comics, who read it and then said, you need to read it right now. So I did. Now, the only thing we know, because it's a very short description on the back, this is by Warren Ellis with art by Paul Duffield. And actually, I can't, there's some, no, I can show everything. Well, if I can't show everything, the art is very simple, but that's good because there's 12 kids. The description is 23 years ago, 12 strange children were born in England at exactly the same moment. 6 years ago, the world ended. This is the story of what happened next. These 12 kids grow up, find each other, become teenagers, then become young adults. And Warren Ellis does a good job of presenting the story. The story is set in a small village in a flooded part of England. England has been flooded. There's been a catastrophe that the FreakAngels, that's what they call themselves, they feel they caused. They all have these psychic abilities. Some are, like, one's an engineer. Another girl, through meditating, has been able to see the future. They've all got sort of the ability to, one of them is a specialist in sort of wiping your memory away. Another one is the lookout in case, because they're flooded, they're surrounded in a village. They've decided they're going to make a stand and protect this village and everybody in there with it, in it, on it, in it with them. So Warren Ellis does a good job of showing us in flashbacks what happened to these kids as youngsters and as teenagers and how they got to this point where it's not the 12 of them against the world, because one of them got ostracized. And quite frankly, another one of them in there uses his powers to influence women to sleep with him. And the other ones don't dig it at all. And he's considered very much a problem. When they were growing up, they said, we need to figure out how to use our powers for the betterment of society. One of them disagreed after the disaster, so they kicked him out. And then they've got this sexual predator amongst them that they're trying to deal with. And one of the FreakAngels fancies herself as sort of the local law enforcement, even though there's no real laws written down. It's her own moral code that she follows. And this is just book 1. It goes through 6 volumes, and it is so well written and so well thought out, what they've been through, what they're trying to do to make things better, and then the evolution of where they end up at the end of the book. Now, what I am a big fan, along with Omnicat, Kristen, of character growth in stories. You see a lot of character growth in a lot of these FreakAngels. Some of it comes through necessity, some of it comes through genuinely growing up, and sometimes they have to force their will on one another to do the right thing. the main thing I want to get across is the main freak angels have their hearts in the right place. They're not happy with what happened, what they caused to happen, and they're trying to defend themselves from interlopers who are being sent via the sea to invade and take over their territory. That's the central part, is that it's the ostracized one, and this isn't spoiling it because it becomes very clear in the very first few pages. It's the ostracized one who's sending people over to try and infiltrate and take over the Freak Angels territory. That's the only, if that's a spoiler, well, I spoiled the first 3 pages, okay? So I'm not going to spoil the ending. But what happens to the other Freak Angels? See, they can protect themselves by creating like a psychic bubble around themselves. They have all kinds of powers that they learn to tap into. One of them, who suffered from an overdose at age 15, comes back from that overdose and is very spiritual. They think she's loopy, but she's the one that actually does the most character growth because she meditates, constantly tries to make herself better, and ends up being able to see the future. Now these parts are pretty dark, so I don't know if you'll be able to see them that well. Yeah, you can see them. That's our Katie right there at the top, the bald chick. She got no hair. I don't know why she shaved her head, but she's the one that's been meditating and has actually made herself even more of a better person, and the other ones learn from her. So this book is easily a 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10, book of the year, incredibly well written and super interesting concept by Warren Ellis. And as I said, the art is simple, but it's effective because what it does is it gets the message across without being too intrusive, because there's a lot of people to take into consideration here. And you do have to do a little bit of, you do have to concentrate a little bit on who the characters are to be able to pick them out so they don't all run together, because you are dealing with 12 people. And I think that's why they kept the art simple. I think the only complaint is that sometimes you get confused as to which character is which. If you pay close attention, you'll be able to figure it out. But that is the one caveat, is that each of the 12 is very individual, but sometimes it's hard to, it can be a little bit confusing as to who is whom. So that said, the stuff they go through, oh, that's a spoiler. This is not a spoiler. The stuff they go through is incredibly interesting. I would say this is science fiction at its height in comics. Warren Ellis has done a great job on this, and I highly recommend Freak Angels. All 6 volumes are available at Organic Price Books, and that's this place. And remember my code Z. My code Z. So peace and love, peace and love. I think you should pick up Freak Angels. Great science fiction read. Amazing, interesting concept about 12 kids that changed the world for the worse and are trying to make it better now through their psychic abilities. Please like, subscribe, and feel free to comment. Peace and love from Omnidog. Thank you for watching. I have great viewers and I appreciate you all. Thank you.